Okay, so are you ready to dive into the world of Martha Guidici and her teachings on prosperity?
Absolutely. I'm excited to dig in.
You sent over a treasure trove of her work, especially her lecture series, Why Not Be Rich?
Yes, it's a great one.
And let me tell you, after getting a sneak peek, I am so ready to unpack this with you.
Yeah, what's exciting about Judy Chi is that she doesn't just stop at the surface level of wealth, just the money.
Right.
Her view of prosperity is so much broader, so much more vibrant.
It's not just about the money, it's about feeling prosperous.
Yeah.
That really resonated with me too. She talks about health, relationships, peace of mind, that holistic well-being we're all striving for.
Yes, exactly.
And she ties this directly to the power of our words, which I found fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's almost like our words act as these energetic architects shaping our reality.
Wow, yeah.
And Judici doesn't just mean the words we say out loud, but even our internal dialogue, those unspoken thoughts swirling around in our minds.
Oh, interesting. So if we're constantly stuck in a negative thought loop, focusing on what we don't have, we're essentially inviting more lack into our lives.
Precisely. Judici calls this dwelling in the land of have-nots, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, wow.
Instead, she urges us to shift our focus to the abundance we already have, no matter how small it might seem.
Like that attitude of gratitude everyone's always talking about.
Exactly. Even appreciating something as simple as a delicious cup of coffee or a beautiful sunset can shift our energetic vibration.
That's a good point.
And this ties into her concept of cleaning house, which I think is so powerful.
Okay, so not just decluttering our physical spaces, but our mental and emotional landscapes too.
Yeah.
Get rid of those dusty old fears and limiting beliefs that are clogging up the works.
You've got it. It's about creating a fertile inner environment where that prosperous energy can flow freely.
I like that.
And sometimes that means confronting those deeply ingrained beliefs that might be holding us back.
Like those inner critics we all have, the ones that whisper, you're not good enough, or you'll never be able to afford that.
Yes. Judici challenges us to examine those beliefs and ask ourselves, are they really true, or are they just echoes of past experiences or limiting societal conditioning?
It's about reclaiming our power, right? Stepping into the driver's seat of our own lives.
Exactly. And Judici doesn't just leave us with these high-level concepts. She backs them up with incredible stories from her own life.
Right.
These aren't just abstract ideas, but lived experiences that demonstrate the transformative power of these principles.
This is where it gets really juicy for me.
Yes.
I love a good story,
Right.
and Judy Chi knows how to tell them. Plus, it makes these concepts feel so much more attainable.
Yeah.
Like if she can do it, maybe we can too.
Absolutely. It's one thing to talk about manifesting prosperity, but it's another thing entirely to hear how these principles played out in her own journey through both triumphs and challenges.
Right.
For instance, she shares how she manifested her ordination as a unity minister.
That one really resonated with me because it wasn't about material wealth, but about achieving a deeply held aspiration. It felt like a testament to the power of unwavering faith, even when faced with obstacles.
Exactly. Giudice had this unshakable belief that she was meant to be a minister, and that conviction fueled her journey. It's a powerful reminder that true prosperity is often about aligning with our soul's purpose, our deepest calling.
Wow. And speaking of aligning with our desires, she also shares the story of how she manifested her life partner, Frank.
Ah, yes. A classic example of manifesting love. Giudice talks about recognizing her inherent worthiness of a loving relationship and affirming that her ideal partner was coming to her quickly and peacefully.
And sure enough, she manifests Frank.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder about the power of our words and beliefs to shape our reality.
It really is quite something.
But it wasn't always smooth sailing for Giudice, right? She also talks about her experience with a physical illness and how that tied into her journey of prosperity.
Right, and this is where the concept of forgiveness takes center stage. Giudice discovered that holding on to resentment and unforgiveness was blocking her energy and hindering her healing process.
So it's not just about saying the words, it's about genuinely releasing those negative emotions, right?
Precisely. Through the process of forgiveness of herself and others, she was able to release those energetic blocks and experience profound healing.
It's like that saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Oh, I like that one.
Forgiveness is truly its own form of abundance.
Yes, it is about freeing ourselves from the weight of the past and creating space for healing, joy, and yes, even prosperity to flow into our lives.
So we've touched upon Giudice's unique perspective on prosperity, Her emphasis on the creative power of our thoughts and words, the importance of clearing out mental and emotional clutter, and the transformative potential of forgiveness.
Yes.
And we've just scratched the surface. She goes on to share even more incredible stories from her life, like how she manifested her first car.
That's right, and it's a perfect example of how getting crystal clear about our desires combined with unwavering belief can lead to tangible manifestations.
So buckle up, everyone, because we're about to dive even deeper into the world of Martha Guidici. We'll uncover more of her wisdom, her practical tips, and her inspiring stories that illustrate how to apply these principles to our own lives. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. So before we dive into more of Martha Giudici's empowering stories, let's talk about one of her most practical tools for inviting abundance, affirmations.
Oh yes, affirmations.
Yeah.
Those positive statements we can use to reprogram our subconscious minds. But Guidici doesn't just throw out generic phrases. She emphasizes crafting affirmations that are personal and specific. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach, right?
Exactly. Think about it this way. Imagine trying to build a house with just a vague idea of what you want. You wouldn't tell the contractor.
No.
Just build me something with walls and a roof.
Right, definitely not. I'd be drafting blueprints like there's no tomorrow. Granite countertops, a reading nook, maybe even a slide from my bedroom to the kitchen. The works.
Exactly. That's what Giudici encourages us to do with our affirmations. Instead of just stating, I am wealthy, she suggests getting specific about the qualities and experiences we desire.
So instead of a generic, I am wealthy, it's more like, I am a money magnet, attracting abundance effortlessly and joyfully.
Yes. Bring in the feeling, the emotion. Giudici believed our affirmations should resonate on a deep, visceral level. It's about embodying the energy of what we want to experience, not just repeating empty words.
It's like finding the affirmations that light us up from the inside out. And consistency is key, right? I could already hear her saying, this isn't a one-time thing, folks.
You're spot on. Giudici compares it to watering a plant. One sprinkle won't do much, but consistent nurturing over time allows it to thrive. She suggests incorporating affirmations into our daily routines, saying them in the mirror, journaling, even listening to them as we drift off to sleep.
It's about repetition, imprinting those positive thoughts and beliefs into our subconscious minds, almost like rewiring those old neural pathways.
Precisely. And as we do this, something amazing happens. We start to embody the energy of what we're affirming.
Wait, so our actions start to reflect our affirmations. It's like the universe saying, okay, I see you. You're serious about this.
Exactly. It becomes this beautiful cycle of positive reinforcement. Our affirmations inspire new actions, those actions lead to new results, and those results further solidify our belief in our ability to manifest our desires. And speaking of manifesting desires, Giudici's personal anecdotes really bring this to life.
You know, I love a good story, and Giudici has plenty. Which one do you think best illustrates this idea of aligning our energy with our desires?
Her story about buying her first car always stands out. It's a perfect example of how clarity, visualization, and unwavering belief can lead to tangible results.
Okay, remind us about that one. I think it'll really resonate with our listeners.
So Giudici had always dreamt of owning a car, but felt it was financially out of reach. Instead of resigning herself to this belief, she got crystal clear about what she desired in the make, the model, even the color.
She didn't just wish for any old car. She had specifics. I can relate to that. I do the same thing when I'm manifesting a vacation, beachfront views, room service, the works.
Exactly. And Giudici took it a step further. She even test drove her dream car in her imagination. She'd imagine the feeling of the steering wheel in her hands, the smell of the new leather, everything. She was embodying the feeling of already having that car before it physically manifested.
And then what happened? Did the universe just magically drop a car in her driveway?
Not exactly, but close. She was chatting with a coworker one day, and it just came up in conversation that they were selling, wait for it, the exact car Giudici had been visualizing. And get this, it was at a price she could afford.
Whoa. That's incredible. Talk about the universe working in mysterious ways. But it's important to note, Giudici didn't just sit back and expect a car to fall into her lap, right?
Right. While she was diligently working on aligning her energy and mindset, she was also taking practical steps towards her goal, browsing car listings, talking to people, putting herself out there.
It's like she always says, we must be both willing to receive and willing to act. Our job isn't just to dream it, but to actively participate in bringing it to life.
Exactly. It's this powerful dance between aligning our energy with our desires and taking inspired action. But there is another crucial piece of the puzzle that Giudici emphasizes, and that's gratitude.
Oh yes, gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in wanting more, but focusing on what we already have is so important.
Absolutely. Giudice talks about becoming treasure hunters in our own lives, noticing and appreciating the abundance that already surrounds us. It's about shifting our focus from a place of lack to a place of abundance.
Because where our attention goes, energy flows,
Yeah.
right? So if we're constantly focusing on what's missing, we're essentially blocking the flow of good things coming our way.
Precisely. Gratitude acts as a powerful amplifier. The more we appreciate what we have, even the seemingly small things, the more we open ourselves up to receiving even more abundance. It's like we're sending a clear signal to the universe. Hey, we're open for business. Send those blessings our way.
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. Speaking of having enough, I'm curious about something else Giudice talks about. The idea that poverty is a sin. That's a pretty bold statement.
It is a statement that can easily be misinterpreted, but within the context of Giudice's teachings, it takes on a deeper meaning. She's not referring solely to financial poverty, but rather to a poverty consciousness,
Oh.
a limited belief in our own worthiness and potential.
It's like settling for a life that's less vibrant, less fulfilling than what we're truly capable of experiencing.
Exactly. Giudice reminds us that we are all children of an abundant universe, deserving of prosperity in all areas of our lives. By embracing the why not be rich mindset, we're stepping into our full potential and claiming the abundance that is rightfully ours.
It's about shifting from a mindset of limitation to a mindset of possibility, recognizing that we have the power to co-create a life overflowing with joy, purpose, and, yes, even financial abundance. But it's not always easy to silence those doubts and fears.
Right.
We all have those moments where limiting beliefs creep in.
You're right. Silencing those negative thoughts entirely isn't the goal, but recognizing and reframing them is key. And Giudice provides some helpful tools for navigating those inner battles.
Tools for taming those inner critics. Let's dive into that next time because I think our listeners will find that really valuable. So we're back and ready to tackle those sneaky inner critics.
Yes.
Those limiting beliefs that can sabotage our best efforts to invite abundance. It's like they've got a direct line to our self-doubt, ready to pipe up at the worst possible moment.
You're right, those voices can be persistent. But the good news is Giudice provides some really effective strategies for dealing with them. And it starts with simply becoming aware of those thoughts without judgment.
Okay, so instead of getting frustrated with ourselves for having those negative thoughts, we just acknowledge them. Like, oh, hey there, inner critic, I see you trying to rain on my parade.
Exactly. It's about shifting from a place of resistance to a place of observation. Just notice those thoughts as they arise, and then, here's the key, choose to reframe them with more empowering beliefs.
So it's not about pretending those negative thoughts don't exist. It's about choosing not to give them power over us. It's like we're taking back control of the narrative.
Precisely. Imagine your mind as like a garden. You wouldn't let weeds just grow unchecked, would you?
Definitely not. I'd be out there with my gardening gloves, ready to pull those suckers out by the roots.
Exactly. And that's how Giudice encourages us to approach limiting beliefs. We can choose to weed out those thoughts that don't serve us and replace them with beliefs that nurture our growth and align with our desires.
So instead of letting those thoughts run rampant, we're taking an active role in cultivating a more positive and abundant mindset. But she also acknowledges that this is an ongoing process, right? We're not striving for some unattainable state of perfect positivity.
Absolutely. Giudice understood that we are all human and we will inevitably experience moments of doubt, fear, or negativity. It's part of the human experience. The key is to approach those moments with self-compassion and recognize that every moment is a fresh start.
It's like that saying, we don't have to be positive all the time. We just have to be positive about moving forward.
I love that. And that brings us to what I believe is the most empowering message at the heart of Giudice's teachings. The idea that we are all conscious creators.
We get to choose how our lives unfold. Sign me up for that. But seriously, it's a powerful concept, isn't it? It's about recognizing that we have agency, that we're not just passive bystanders in our own lives.
Exactly. Giudice reminds us that we are always manifesting, whether we're aware of it or not. Our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are constantly shaping our reality.
So the more we can tap into that power, that awareness, the more we can align with the energy of what we truly desire, right? It's like we're stepping into the driver's seat of our own lives and choosing our destination.
Precisely. And that's where those practical tools we've been discussing come into play. It's about clarifying our desires, crafting powerful affirmations, practicing gratitude, releasing limiting beliefs, and taking those inspired actions that move us closer to our goals.
It's like we've been given this incredible toolkit, and now it's up to us to use it to create the lives we've always dreamt of.
And to trust that the universe has our back, that it's conspiring with us to bring our dreams to life.
This deep dive into the world of Martha Guidici has been so incredibly insightful. We've explored so many facets of prosperity, the power of our thoughts and words, the importance of forgiveness, the transformative potential of gratitude, and the incredible power we each possess to create a life of abundance.
It's a message that resonates just as powerfully today as it did decades ago. Judici's teachings offer timeless wisdom for anyone seeking to live a more joyful, abundant, and purpose-driven life.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought-provoking question from Martha Guidici herself. If you knew you could not fail, what would you dare to dream? Until next time, keep diving deep. And as Guidici would say, why not be rich?